Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Wednesday Words of Wisdom video. Hello, everyone. Sorry to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming, except it's not regularly scheduled because, like I mentioned in my post, I was having some technical difficulties. Not even like, I filmed the video in 4K, and then it was like a fucking 6 GB video, so it was taking forever to upload, so it just never uploaded. So I had to like convert it to 1080p, and from now on I'm just gonna film in 1080p. I don't know why I was trying to be like, new phone, new me, 4K. Like who's watching in 4K? In this economy? I'm kidding. But anyways, happy Wednesday, except it's Friday, I believe. I don't know. It's currently Wednesday as I'm filming this, but I think the video is going to be up on Friday because I filmed another video that I want to put first. But also this is a little addition to the video that's gonna go up first. It's gonna go up on Thursday. My update. I also want to mention that I'm going to do more frequently some astro rambles. Like I did one already because it just came to me in the moment. But I have an idea for another one, which I mention, I think, in this video that you're about to watch. If not this one, then the next. I don't know. This whole time traveling thing is so crazy and confusing. Anyways. Yeah, so happy Friday, even though this is a Wednesday Words of Wisdom video. The reason I'm putting it up instead of waiting another week is because some of the things I talk about in this video and the next video are kind of relevant to the moment, and I don't want to get too lost in time. So I know nobody really even cares, but happy Friday, even though it's Wednesday, and happy Wednesday, even though it's Friday. Enjoy the video. Before we get started, I have a question. Is the fan bothersome? Because I'm always worried about it, and sometimes I turn it off. But I don't want to because it's hot. So if it's not taking away from the video quality, let me know. Or if it is, let me know. Because I obviously don't want it to be bothersome, but I don't know that it is. And sometimes I think I just worry too much. Anyways, like I said, it's time to continue reading from Great Words from Wise Women. Today, finally, because I mentioned this, I think 3 weeks ago now, but then I switched up the order like I do. We're going to be reading about and an excerpt from Maria Stewart, journalist and abolitionist. Okay, here we go. The African-American abolitionist Maria Stewart's extraordinary career made her a woman of firsts. Widely considered the first American woman to lecture before a mixed-gendered audience, she was also one of the first to speak publicly on the role of women in society. Decades before the Civil War, and long before the term intersectionality, Stewart was one of the first to speak about the lived experience of African American women. Stewart was an unlikely public figure, orphaned as a child, and as an indentured servant from the age of 5, she received almost no formal education, yet she was passionate about civil rights and social reform. In 1831, as a young widow, she sought out the abolitionist William Lloyd Garrison, who quickly published an essay of hers on race and religion in his newspaper, The Liberator. After this, Stewart's popularity grew, and she gave 4 high-profile anti-slavery lectures in Boston, until, facing increasing criticism, she swore off public speaking in 1833 and retired to life as an educator. In her farewell address, Stewart name-checks powerful women who came before her. She found their stories in an old history book, Sketches of the Fair Sex, from 1790. Deeply religious, she is confident that St. Paul, if only given a chance to consider her life, would understand her need to speak in public. She asks a simple question: what if I am a woman? And this is apparently her farewell address from 1833. What if I am a woman? Is not the God of ancient times the God to these modern days? Did he not raise up Deborah to be a mother and judge in Israel? Did not Queen Esther save the lives of the Jews, and Mary Magdalene first declare the resurrection of Christ from the dead? St. Paul declared that it was a shame for a woman to speak in public. Yet our great high priest and advocate did not condemn the woman for a more notorious offense than this, neither will he condemn this worthless worm. The bruised reed he will not break, and the smoking flax he will not quench, till he send forth judgment unto victory. Did St. Paul but know of our wrongs and deprivations, I presume he would make no objection to our pleading in public for our rights. If such women as are here described have once existed, be no longer astonished then, my brethren and friends, that God at this eventful period should raise up your own females to strive by their example, both in public and private, to assist those who are endeavoring to stop the strong current of prejudice that flows so profusely against us at present. No longer ridicule their efforts. It will be counted for sin. For God makes use of feeble means sometimes to bring about his most exalted purposes. Okay, I'm just going to pause there for a second because I thought about astrology. She said, for God makes use of feeble means sometimes to bring about his most exalted purposes. And so, of course, I don't know why I'm saying of course, but of course, that made me think of Mercury and Jupiter and how they're sort of opposites. Mercury is the smallest planet besides the moon, but the moon isn't really a planet. And Jupiter is the biggest planet. And, despite being opposites, Mercury representing the small things in life, the details, the fast-moving, changing things, and Jupiter representing the big themes, the bigger picture in life. They work hand in hand. The little things inform the bigger picture, and the bigger picture makes way for the little things, and so even things that seem small can have big, profound, life-changing effects. Then and now. Let's continue. In the 15th century, the general spirit of this period is worthy of observation. We might then have seen women preaching and mixing themselves in controversies, women occupying the chairs of philosophy and justice, women haranguing, I think it's haranguing, women haranguing in Latin before the Pope, women writing in Greek and studying in Hebrew. Nuns were poetesses, and women of quality divines, and young girls who had studied eloquence would, with the sweetest countenance and the most plaintive voices, pathetically exhort the Pope and the Christian princes to declare war against the Turks. Women in those days devoted their leisure hours to contemplation and study. The religious spirit which has animated women in all ages showed itself at this time. It was made by them, by turns, martyrs, apostles, warriors, and concluded in making them divines and scholars. Why cannot a religious spirit animate us now? Why cannot we become divines and scholars? What if such women, as are here described, should rise among our sable race? And it is not impossible, for it is not the color of our skin that makes the man or the woman, but the principles formed in the soul. Brilliant wit will shine, come from whence it will, and genius and talent will not hide the brightness of its luster. wow. I really loved that last paragraph. And it kind of ties in, it reminds me of what Fanny Wright said. And that's like the, that was the passage that I read, or that comes right before this one in this book. Because, like, in Fanny Wright's speech, she was talking about gender. And here we are talking about gender, but I think we're also talking about race. And, you know, they said it was before intersectionality was a word, but this is what was happening. She was talking about intersectionality before it was a thing, or before there was a term for it, right? Because not only is she talking about being a woman, but she's talking about being a black woman. And, you know, like, it's not the color of the skin that makes the man or woman, but the principle formed in the soul. Sounds, you know, very similar to what Martin Luther King said. And I wonder if he drew inspiration from this. And probably, you know, who knows? And it's not, like, hard to arrive at that idea, because it's the truth. It's, but I love this. Brilliant wit will shine, come from whence it will, and genius and talent will not hide the brightness of its luster. So no matter where this brilliant wit is coming from, it's going to shine. Like, and of course this made me think of astrology. I'm just always thinking about astrology. We are stars. We're made up of the stars. The same things that the stars are made up of make up us. And I believe we are here to shine. And we're going to shine regardless, right? It doesn't matter what we do. We are going to live and express our being in the way that we are meant to. And, you know, the genius and talent, it will not hide the brightness of its luster. This was beautiful. I really loved this. So thank you for spending some time with me reading from this book. And next time we will be reading from Angelina Grimke, Anti-Slavery Speech from 1838. And I'm not lying this time, because what I'm doing now is I'm reading 2 from the beginning of the book, which are passages from further back in history, and then I'm going to read 2 from later on in the book, which is more recent history. So yes, next week, which I will probably film now, will be Angelina Grimke. I think it's Grimke. Although I feel like I want it to be Grimke, but I feel like I've heard the last name Grimke. I think it was her sister, and I feel like they say Grimke, but who cares? Bye.